Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news today from China and Europe. First up, in Ireland, their government, which has been roundly criticised by other nations for its preferential tax treatment of multinational giants like Apple and Google, has announced a move that is likely to further incense its critics. It has a corporate tax rate of only 12.5%, already one of the lowest in the developed world, and now it has announced it will cut that rate in half for a new tax category, one covering revenue pegged to companies' patents and other intellectual property. The Irish claim they are just emulating the UK's 10% rate. So much for the recent OECD base erosion initiative. In China, their trade balance in September has come in way better than expected. Export missed forecasts by just a whisker, kept high by Western demand. But import values were very low again as raw material imports fell, especially of coal and oil. While there was a small restocking blip for iron ore last month, the prognosis for suppliers like Australia is not good. China has way too much steel-making capacity. Back in Europe, Volkswagen has announced a major pivot in its strategy to try and survive its cheating scandal. That involves slashing this year's R&D budget by $1 billion and shifting to electric vehicle development. One consequence of all this is that New Zealand and Australia may become a dumping ground for dirty diesel cars. It turns out we adopted Aussie pollution standard rules, and they are stuck in the US 2007 and Japanese 2009 levels. Even without the cheat device, VW's vehicles sold here will probably meet our current standards. Meanwhile, back in China again, car sales are growing, up 3.3% from the same month a year ago, and restoring growth to a market that has shrank for the past 3 months. In New York, the US Treasury 10-year yield benchmark is slightly lower today at 2.07%. The US benchmark oil price is unchanged at $47.50 a barrel, while the Brent price is lower at just $50 a barrel. The IEA has issued a bearish report, bearish for the industry, good for consumers, predicting high supply levels well into the future and demand falling as economies transition away from energy-intensive demand. The gold price is unchanged today in New York at $1,165 an ounce, and the New Zealand dollar starts at about the same place we were yesterday afternoon. It is now at 66.8 US cents, 91.6 Aussie cents and 58.7 euro cents. The TWI is at 70.9. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.